10 years ago today, my dad passed away. It's crazy to even say 10 years. Hey, it seems like it was just yesterday. And as with anything that's especially emotionally impactful, when we have anniversary dates, times on the calendar that pop up, it really does seem like it was just the other day, not 3,000 plus days have passed. I've been spending a lot of time this morning reflecting on my dad and what his legacy is to me, and things about him, things I miss, things I wish I could still do, and all that I've learned from him in life and in his death. And I thought I'd share 5 of them with you today. So I hope you'll stick with me, and do me a favor too, don't just listen to this message, but if you stick with this video, think about, as you listen, think about how you can apply this in your life, because my hope is that you don't just hear and that's that, but you take it and make it applicable. So the first one is to feel through emotion. You know, on a day like today, or a day like any day, there could be a wide range of emotions that come up, depending on what field of psychology you subscribe to, or what your religious belief is, or your background, or your cultural beliefs. There's anywhere from 1,000 to like 4,000 plus named emotions that we can go through and experience. And some of them can happen at random. Some of them can seem like they come out of nowhere. And that doesn't make it right, wrong, good, bad, or anything. It just means that in that moment, there's something that's causing you to feel. It could be the way the water sounds in the background. It could be the note on a song, and all of a sudden it triggers a memory from you that you haven't thought of in years. You're not even aware you think of the memory, but what happens is you have an emotion that comes up as a cause of that. So give yourself permission to feel through. There's nothing wrong with feeling what you feel. Just give yourself permission to feel through it, which leads to number 2. When you're feeling through emotions, or you're feeling an emotion, do not label it as such. You are a human fucking being, and you are so much greater and so much more than the nice little neat boxes that society likes to put us into with the labels. If you feel sadness, it doesn't mean you're sad. If you feel depression, it doesn't mean you're depressed. If you feel that you relate to something that a Republican has or a Democrat has, it doesn't mean that you're all of those things or you're one of those things. It just means that's what you're feeling and that's what you're experiencing at that time. You know, we have gotten to be such a culture of labeling people, labeling our conditions, labeling our experiences. And the danger of a label is it strips us away of our humanity. Because then what happens is instead of seeing the human being and all that we're capable of, we see the label and all that it limits us with. So resist putting a label. When you're feeling or you're thinking, whatever it is you're thinking or feeling, just honor that you're thinking and feeling. That's it. And some of it's going to be more deeper and more intense and more chaotic and crazy at times. But it's all part of your experience, and it's all part of being you. Number 3, find your bliss and really live it. And finding your bliss doesn't necessarily mean that you're going off and charging around the world or doing all those things all the time, and you can. Finding your bliss means that you just find a place where you're happy, that you can enjoy the simple stuff, that you can be as completely blissful being out here in a beautiful setting like this as you are sitting at home watching Netflix or reading a book. Whatever that is, find a place in here where you are at your bliss. Life is far too short and far too precious, and so many people are waiting for something to happen, waiting for life to happen, and they find that they deplete their lives so much that the biggest charge they get from their life is something external. You know, tomorrow at the time of this recording is going to be the Super Bowl, and for many of us, that will be one of the most emotionally charged days of our life, because we're going to watch other people do something that they're great at. We're going to watch other people pursue their dreams. And I have to wonder how many people get excited about watching others pursue theirs because deep down they knew they didn't have the courage to go after theirs. Your bliss is going to be in the pursuit of your dreams, and your bliss is going to also be found in just realizing and appreciating all that you have around you, the countless blessings you have in your life. If you can see this, you can hear it. If you have Wi-Fi to log in, you have a device to see this with. If you have clothes on your body, food in your belly, water in your kitchen, in your shower, my God, you are so blessed, and you have so much more than the majority of the people in the world. You know, what is it that the average person around the world survives on less than $3 a day? Think about that, $3 a day. Their worst day, their greatest day would be your worst nightmare. You are so blessed. So find your bliss and really live in it. Number 4, I had to write a couple of these down so I keep on track and I didn't get too much off a tangent. Don't hold on. Don't hold on to the shit that happens in life. Each and every one of you watching right now has gone through some horrible, traumatic stuff that's happened. People have said wrong things. People have hurt you. People have done some fucked up stuff in your life. People have been mean. They've been cruel. They've been awful. Life has been unfair and unkind. You've probably been pissed off and angry at God at some point. Stop holding on to it. What happened in the past is what happened in the past, but what hurts you now is not them, it's you. It's your insistence to bring everything that happened behind you and bring it up right now. There are people who will hold on over and over. I gotta switch hands here. My shoulder's getting a little tired. People will hold on to the things that happened to them in the past and relive it over and over again and make it part of their present and who they are. It's like they go out the door and they grab the cap off the thing, put it on and say, this is me. And it's all the horrible stuff that happened in the past. You're so much greater than that. You're so much greater than the harm and the hurts that others have visited upon you. And if you just give yourself permission again to allow yourself to experience a day, maybe even start with 1 minute or 1 hour of what the possibility of your life could be like without having that hat on, but just going out and being you. Entering into the world as Jesse or Jane or Mary or Sue or Bobby or Billy or whoever might be watching this. You're so much greater than the past and the hurts that have happened. Consider letting it go. Life's too short to carry that burden around, and I promise you that you will feel lighter and more free when you start to leave that stuff behind. Last but not least, number 5, embrace the gifts. What I mean by this specifically is not just the gifts that you have and all the blessings in your life, but embrace the gifts of the horrible stuff that's happened. I remember, and I'm trying to remember who it was that said it, but I read once that somebody said the fastest way to change your life is if you can find a way to make your worst day into your best day. And as callous and cold and insensitive as that might seem, there is such a profoundly deep wisdom and truth to that. I'll give you an example of this. In the last 24 hours, or maybe last 48, I guess, I've had conversations with several people who have lost loved ones. I had a really dear friend that would reach out to me this morning who was going through a loss in their life. And one of the gifts I could give, February 1st, 2010 was one of the hardest and most horrible days of my life. But one of the gifts I've been given from that is to be the one that friends and family and people will reach out to, because I might be able to provide some words of comfort, because I've been there, because I've hurt so deeply, because I can understand and empathize and relate, and because I get it. The other thing is it's given me an understanding of life that I would never had before, the value and appreciation of life, and the respect of death that I never ever had before. It's also given me a voice to come and hopefully share this message with you, and hopefully this message is meaning something to you. And it's something that you're going to be able to take away and pass on to your friends and family. These are all gifts that I have in my life and that bring abundance and joy into my life. Gifts that I would never have happened had I not had my dad pass away 10 years ago. Now, does this mean that I wouldn't want my dad still here? Of course that doesn't mean that. I would love for my dad to still physically be a part of my life. But we don't get to make that choice. What the choice we do get to make is what kind of relationship we get to have with our loved ones after they passed. I fully believe that my dad is somewhere on my shoulder watching around a part of my life, just going for the walk, and saw a boat that's name was Michael. How funny is that? And my dad's name was Michael. So I really do believe that our loved ones can still be a presence in our life, but their presence exists here. It exists in our love for them, and so many of us never get to form those relationships with our loved ones because we're so engulfed in the pain. We bring the pain and we carry it around with us, again, wearing that hat. And we mark our lives as when this thing happened and now the pain I'm carrying because of that thing. Your life is great. Your time is precious. Your loved ones would not want you to live and spend the rest of your time in pain and suffering on their behalf. What they would love for you to do on their behalf is to choose to live your life in the most extraordinary way possible, that honors them, that gets them to smile, that gets them to laugh from wherever they are, and that they beam with pride knowing that they play a small piece of inspiration in how you show up and how you choose to live every day. So I know this video is a little bit longer than normal. If you're still with me, I appreciate you sticking around, and I really do hope that this message has resonated with you. And thank you for letting me share a little bit of my dad with you on what is a very special day of his. Right? Sending lots of love to each of you, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.